Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon to vote for Clayface or Penguin from Batman, and like and subscribe for fewer mutineers next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Yondu Udonta from the Guardians of the Galaxy, one of the founding members if you care about the comic books. If you care about the comic books, he also uses a bow and arrow and is basically Space Hawkeye, no whistling. This build is technically rawly in the comic book version area, but if your DM is cool, like James Gunn, they're gonna let you change the flavor to whistle while you work.
You'll always sound precocious, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry November, everybody. If you're going to be doing some holiday shopping soon, please don't do it without today's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. It's the most wonderful time of the year for the search engines and your internet service provider who's trying to get your data and figure out what gifts you're buying. But if you're using an encrypted connection through Surfshark VPN, they won't be able to see any of that. You can also use the clean web feature so that you're not seeing pop-ups and ads for gifts you don't want to get for your family and friends. Maybe better than any present would be your presence. So gather the family around and watch a movie, except oh no! The movie you want to watch isn't on a streaming service in your country. Well, thankfully, you can use Surfshark VPN to disguise your IP address and watch region-blocked content from all around the world. It's really great and it's really easy to use, working on an unlimited number of devices, cell phones, tablets, browsers, anything with the internet. You can run Surfshark on. I'm already thankful to Surfshark for sticking with me all year, but I'm even more thankful now because they've made their deal even better. If you click the link in the description, you get 83% off and 4 free months if you sign up using offer code Tulok at checkout. So keep your shopping list safe, watch whatever you want to watch, and have a merry November. Now back to the video. Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need arrow. That has to be a typo. The character obviously has more than one arrow. Nope, just one. Seems risky, but okay. Next, we'll make sure that we never miss. Even when we miss, we won't miss. Finally, we need to cross over with another Disney property with all of the powers of Mary Poppins. Well, one of the powers of Mary Poppins. She's obviously some sort of eldritch abomination, too powerful for me to build. For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just keep your multi-classing minimums in mind, shouldn't be an issue. Dexterity will be number 1. Archers gotta arch, even if they're firing arrows with their lips and lungs. That probably requires more flexibility, actually. Intelligence next, flying spaceships and using audio-tuned weaponry needs some serious brain power. Charisma after that, you lead your crew through a mixture of charm and intimidation, just don't show your hand and let them know how much you genuinely care about them. Oh, so also deception then. Follow that up with wisdom, you need to see people to hit people, kind of, not really, actually the arrow does most of the work. Constitution is a bit low, you tend to either hang out in the back or just kill things before they can hit you and will dump strength, you don't need it for anything. You don't even have to pull a bowstring back. You got blue skin, that's VEDALKEN, just because it kind of works. Kree are going to be VEDALKEN, though so far the only other Kree I would want to build is Nebula, and she's mostly parts, so I probably would make her a Warforged. I don't know, y'all want Ronin or something? Let me know if you want Ronin, I'll make him VEDALKEN too. I also don't know how to say VEDALKEN. You also get +1 intelligence and +1 wisdom. VEDALKEN Cunning for advantage on intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws against magic, and Aetherlore to add double your proficiency bonus to history checks involving magical items. It helps to know what you're thieving after all. That's all the Vedul can get, but both of those abilities are very good. Go for the Urchin background for stealth and sleight of hand proficiency, even if your actual background is closer to Gladiator, we just don't need those skills. We'll kick things off as a fighter, letting us grab 2 skills from the fighter list, like Perception and Intimidation, to see where the arrow is going, and to use it to scare the eyebrows off a black market antique dealer. For your fighting style, Archery will add 2 to your attack rolls with ranged weapons, helping you land those borderline impossible shots. You also get second wind, letting you heal 1d10 plus your fighter level as a bonus action. Obviously, you need to catch your breath if your method of fighting is tonal breathing. Second level fighters get an action surge, letting you make 2 actions in 1 turn once per short rest. Eventually, you'll use this to clear out a whole ship's worth of mutineers in 1 round. For now, 2 people. Nothing wrong with that. You're only level 2. Third level fighters can choose a martial archetype, and Arcane Archer is pretty perfect for Yondu. People say this is an ineffective subclass, but they're wrong. It's extremely effective in making you feel like a badass with a bunch of magical arrows. 2 magical arrows. You get 1 of 2 skills, will take Arcana over Nature, and 1 of 2 cantrips will take Prestidigitation instead of Druidcraft, since that will let you make tiny objects in your hand, like little tchotchkes for your ship. Arcane shots are the main draw of the class, pun intended, letting you add some funky stuff to 1 shot per round, twice per short rest. Seeking Arrow switches the arrow from an attack roll on your end to a dexterity saving throw on your enemy's end. dealing an extra d6 of force damage, but the really cool part is you only have to have seen the creature sometime in the last minute, and if they're hidden from you, now you know where they are. You're not controlling the arrow with your mind after all, you're controlling it with your heart, though you do use your intelligence modifier for the saving throw, so the heart of your mind. Piercing arrow forces a dexterity saving throw on creatures in a 30-foot line, dealing the arrow's damage plus an extra d6 of piercing damage if they fail, and ignoring any cover, so you don't have to worry if someone is in your ship, you can just blow through them like wind through your lips. 4th level fighters get an ability score improvement. We need dexterity as quickly as possible, even though your two methods of making your arrow all special are actually using your intelligence modifier more at the moment. You've only got 2 uses of those per day. After that, you're just shooting regular arrows, unless your DM is cool and lets you reflavor them to be whistled, but it's kind of implicit that we're going to hope they let you do that for all of the shots anyway. 5th level fighters get an extra attack, letting you make 2 attacks instead of 1 with your action, or up to 4 with an action surge. Any one of those can be an arcane shot as well, but still only once per round. 6th level fighters get another ability score improvement. Keep getting that dexterity modifier higher. I promise we'll make more use of it in a second. It's also useful for sleight of hand and stealth, pretty important for a space pirate. 7th level arcane archers get magic arrow, making your arrows magical at will, so even thick hides and steel ships won't resist your little buddy. You also get curving shot, letting you turn a missed shot into an attack roll against another creature within 60 feet of the original target as a bonus action. There's no limit to how many times you can do this, so it should regularly help you save face in front of your crew if you miss. If that wasn't enough, you also get another arcane shot. Bursting arrow lets you deal an extra 2d6 force damage to a creature you hit with an arrow, and 2d6 force damage to creatures within 10 feet of them. No saves or attack rolls on them, just extra AoE damage. I think the general idea is it's a tiny explosive going off, but you could reflavor it to be the arrow darting around and leaving a slick red trail of light and blood. It might seem like we're doing a lot of reflavoring, but in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, they suggest you make magic missiles look like chickens. So there is precedence for reflavoring, especially with force damage. 8th level fighters get another ability score improvement, cap off your dexterity, and then round up your charisma. There's no point in having odd numbers. That would be like buying a second arrow. What would you need that for? We're gonna bounce over to Artificer now for some magical tinkering, letting you take a tiny non-magical item and put tiny magical effects into it. Static messages, puffs of smoke, that kind of stuff. More tchotchke fun. I didn't realize how much tchotchke stuff we'd get here, but I'm not upset about it. I like tchotchkes. We're really here for 1st level spells like Featherfall to prevent up to 5 falling creatures from taking falling damage as a reaction, so Star-Lord, Rocket Raccoon, Drax the Destroyer, Mantis, and Cosmo the Space Dog will all be safe. I had to make up some of those names, right? Those all can't be real characters. Catapult lets you Yondu even if your DM isn't fun, letting you force a dexterity saving throw on a creature, dealing 3d8 bludgeoning damage if they fail, as you telekinetically yeet an object of 5 pounds or less at them. There you go. Now you can just spam this with 2 spell slots. Yeah, sorry. For your cantrips, message lets you communicate with another creature 120 feet away from you, and they can message you back. It just lets you get on a radio with people in other ships. Communication is key for space heists. Since we've used force damage for the arrow earlier, it would track that Sword Burst would be a decent use of the arrow, forcing a dexterity saving throw on creatures within 5 feet of you, dealing 2d6 force damage to those that fail. Just spin it around you like the rings of Jupiter. We're not done with Artificer yet, since 2nd level Artificers can grab infusions. An enhanced weapon will add 1 to the attack and damage rolls with a weapon, for an arrow that has plus 12 to hit at this point, and plus 14 by the end of the build, with the ability to re-roll 1 miss per turn to hit another creature. Honestly, I don't think you're going to get a lot of opportunities to use that. Enhanced defense adds 1 to your AC while you're wearing armor. It doesn't have to be heavy. I'm sure your jacket is insulated with some space stuff. Goggles of night let you see in the dark with your weak VEDALKEN eyes. Bag of holding lets you carry more stuff, storing up to 500 pounds and 64 cubic feet. I bet you put a beard on at Christmas for baby Star-Lord, didn't you, you dad? Bouncing back over to fighter now, 9th level fighters get indomitable, letting you re-roll 1 failed saving throw once per short rest. You can't become a legendary outlaw if you die the first time someone throws a grenade at you. 10th level archers get another arcane shot. Enfeebling arrow lets you send your arrow right through someone's joints, dealing an extra 2d6 necrotic damage and forcing a constitution saving throw on them. Failing that, the target deals half damage with weapon attacks until the start of your next turn. This is a great one if you want to train your son to fight, but also don't want the baddies to kill him. Make the baddies weaker, and then he won't die. 11th level fighters get another extra attack for 3 attacks per round and 6 with an action surge. It's pretty ridiculous, but I feel like it could deal more damage. It certainly can at the 12th level of fighter, with a feat like sharpshooter, adding 10 to the damage of a ranged attack after putting a -5 penalty on the attack roll. Don't sweat that too much. Between your bonuses, that's still +8 to hit, and you have a backup on 1 miss per turn. Unfortunately, you can't stack this with piercing or seeking arrows since you need to make an attack roll. This is for the other attacks you make per day. You can also ignore penalties from firing at max range and all but full cover, curving that arrow around the corners to deliver the pain. 13th level fighters get another use of Indomitable, worth noting that these work on death saving throws as well. Death never really sticks around in the MCU, so please bring back Yondu. Leave Tony Stark dead in the dirt, dance on his grave, I don't care, just bring back my space dad. I'm fine, everyone, totally well adjusted and not overly attached to fictional dads to compensate for my own personal stuff. Anyway, 14th level fighters get another ability score improvement. Get your intelligence up for harder to resist big arrow shots or for your little arrow shots from Sword Burst. Arrow Burst. 15th level arcane archers get Ever Ready Shot, giving you 1 use of arcane shot when you roll initiative with none left. So hey, remember to use these. You don't get extra D&D points for making it to a long rest with extra resources you didn't use. Heck, you even get another arcane shot like Shadow Arrow, which deals an extra 2d6 psychic damage and prevents the target from seeing things further than 5 feet away from them until the start of your next turn. Yondu might not have a smoke arrow, but if he sent the arrow through someone's eye, yeah, they're gonna want to spend a round putting some drops in. 16th level fighters get another ability score improvement so you can cap off your intelligence modifier for an almost impossible to avoid arrow. 17th level fighters get a 2nd use of action surge and a 3rd use of Indomitable. That's 2 rounds in a row of 48 damage just from your modifiers, not to mention any funky stuff you want to do with your arcane shots. Our capstone is the 18th level of Arcane Archer, giving you improved arcane shots, bumping the damage of Bursting, Shadow, and Enfeebling Arrow to 4d6, and Piercing and Seeking to 2d6. Since you've only got 2 uses per day, it's nice of them to give you some extra oomph. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you are super accurate and super consistent, with +9 to hit sharp shots that deal 1d8 plus 16 piercing damage each, and are all magical in terms of overcoming resistances. With 2 action surges per day, you can also deal some big damage to a single target, dealing 6d8 plus 96 damage 2 turns in a row. That's enough to kill a certain botanist I used as an example of the most busted builds I've made. Finally, VEDALKEN Cunning is really good, especially with 3 uses of Indomitable, meaning spells against your soft stats should not be an issue. For weaknesses, your strength is low, so you could definitely end up getting shoved around. You're also dealing with very limited numbers of arcane shots. When people talk smack about this class, that's why. Finally, for a fighter, you've got some low health and no mobility options to get you away or to get you where you need to be to shoot things. But you should be killing pretty much everything before it gets to you. Whistle while you work, send your arrow to do your work automatically, and get your bounties on. Just make sure that you open up to your kid every now and then. A boy's relationship with his daddy is too important to let an ego get in the way. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Join the Patreon to vote for Clayface or Penguin from Batman, and sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.